Monica stood at the hospital's sterile hallway, her heart pounding as the nurse explained the severity of her mother's condition. Despite years of neglect and cruelty, she had a choice to make, one that could either save her mother or finally let her face the consequences of her actions. Monica's trembling voice broke the silence. "I'll do it. I'll give her my kidney." Growing up, Monica had always known she was the less loved child. Her sister Missy was their mother's pride, a golden-haired, blue-eyed princess who could do no wrong. Monica, on the other hand, had dark, frizzy hair and a quiet demeanor that went unnoticed. Their mother doted on Missy, throwing extravagant birthday parties and showering her with the finest clothes. Monica, however, was given hand-me-downs and reprimanded for even the smallest mistakes. "You'll never be as beautiful or talented as Missy," her mother would say, dismissively waving her hand. While Missy flourished under the spotlight, Monica withdrew into herself, finding solace in drawing and painting. She created vibrant worlds on paper, places where she was seen, valued, and loved. Missy thrived in the luxury her mother provided. She was the center of attention at school, effortlessly popular and confident. But her easy life made her complacent. She never worked hard because she didn't have to. While Monica spent hours studying and working odd jobs to earn money, Missy partied late into the night. Their mother defended her, saying, "She's young, let her enjoy life. She has plenty of time to figure things out." But Missy wasn't figuring anything out. Beneath her glamorous exterior, she lacked direction and purpose. Monica knew she couldn't survive in her toxic household forever. She poured her energy into school and her art, entering every competition she could find. Her art teacher, Mrs. Garland, became her mentor, encouraging her to chase her dreams. "You have a gift, Monica. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise," Mrs. Garland said one afternoon, handing her a flyer for a national art contest. Monica hesitated. "What if I'm not good enough?" Mrs. Garland smiled warmly. "You'll never know unless you try." Monica entered the contest and won first place, earning a scholarship to a prestigious art school. It was her ticket out. Leaving home was bittersweet. While Monica was relieved to escape her mother's cruelty, she couldn't shake the longing for a family that loved her. At art school, she blossomed. Her professors praised her talent, and her classmates admired her determination. For the first time in her life, Monica felt seen. But every time she called home to share her achievements, her mother's indifference stung. "That's nice," her mother would say flatly before changing the subject to Missy's latest exploits. Monica eventually stopped calling. While Monica was building a life for herself, Missy's world began to crumble. She dropped out of college, unable to keep up with her courses, and started bouncing from one meaningless job to another. Her partying escalated, and soon, Missy found herself tangled in a web of bad decisions. Her friends began to drift away, and the shine of her once glamorous life faded. She turned to their mother for help, but even the doting parent had limits. "You need to pull yourself together, Missy," her mother said, frustration creeping into her voice. "I can't keep bailing you out forever." But Missy didn't know how to pull herself together. She had spent her whole life relying on others, and now, without Monica or their mother stepping in, she was adrift. It was during this time that their mother's health began to decline. Years of stress and poor habits caught up with her, and the once commanding woman became frail and weak. Doctors diagnosed her with kidney failure. The treatments were costly, and without a transplant, her chances of survival were slim. Monica was the first person the doctors contacted, but she ignored their calls. Her mother's cruelty had left scars too deep to heal. When they reached out to Missy, she outright refused. "I'm not sacrificing my body for her," she snapped, hanging up the phone. For the first time, their mother faced the consequences of her actions. She had driven away the very people who could save her. Monica couldn't shake the weight of the call from Dr. Fisher. She tried to focus on her work, but her mind kept drifting back to her childhood, to the moments when she had desperately sought her mother's love. One night, as she stared at the mural she was painting, tears filled her eyes. Could she really turn her back on her mother, no matter how much pain she had caused? She called Mrs. Garland, her former art teacher and trusted confidant. "What would you do if you were me?" Monica asked. Mrs. Garland paused. "Forgiveness isn't for them, Monica. It's for you. Carrying bitterness only hurts you in the end." That night, Monica made her decision. Walking into Crestview Medical Center felt like stepping into another world. The sterile smell, the beeping machines, and the white walls made Monica's stomach churn. Her mother looked so small in the hospital bed, a shadow of the domineering woman she once was. Her sunken eyes widened when she saw Monica. "You came," her mother whispered, her voice shaky. "I came. Monica replied, keeping her tone neutral. They stared at each other for a long moment. Monica expected to feel anger, but instead she felt a pang of sadness. This woman who had once loomed so large in her life now looked so fragile. When Missy found out that Monica had agreed to be tested as a potential donor, she was furious. "Why are you doing this?" she demanded during a tense phone call. "She doesn't deserve your help." "It's not about her," Monica said quietly. "It's about me. I don't want to carry this hatred anymore." Missy scoffed. "You're too good for your own good, Monica." But Monica wasn't doing it to be good. She was doing it to set herself free. Monica's tests confirmed she was a match. The doctors scheduled the transplant, and Monica prepared herself mentally and physically for the surgery. During her recovery, she found herself reflecting on her life. She realized that forgiving her mother didn't mean forgetting the pain she had caused. It meant choosing to move forward. Her mother, humbled by the experience, began to change. She started attending therapy and even reached out to Monica with heartfelt apologies. "I know I can never make up for the past," her mother said one day, tears streaming down her face. "But I want to try.